And we'll be starting right off with question 1. What does the double / operator do in Python? A. Performs normal division. B. Performs floor division. C. Returns the remainder of division. D. Raises an exception. Normal division would be just one / and that returns a float and not an integer. In option B, the double / operator in Python performs floor division. This means that it divides two numbers and rounds up the result down to the nearest whole number or integer. In option C, it's a difference sign or operator that performs the function of returning the remainder of division, and that is the modulus operator. The modulus operator returns the remainder but not the double /. And in option D, the double / operator does not cause an error unless it is dividing by 0, so it doesn't raise an exception. Out of the options we have, we'll be going with option B. The double / operator in Python performs floor division, meaning that it divides two numbers and rounds down the result to the nearest whole number. Question 2. What will be the output of the following code we have on the screen? Option A, P, B, Y, C, T, D, H. Looking at the code we have on the screen, in this code, X is assigned the string Python, and Python uses zero-based indexing. This means that the first character has an index of 0, so X and 2 in the square brackets will return the third character, which is T in Python. So our answer is option C. What this means, to explain further, is that it uses zero-based indexing. So it starts counting from 0. So P will take the position of 0, Y will take the position of 1, and T will take the position of 2. So the output of the code would be the letter T. Question 3. What is the result of bool square brackets in Python? A. True. B. False. C. None. D. Error. An empty list, as we see in the screenshot, is considered falsy in Python. This means that it evaluates to false when converted to a boolean. Falsy values in Python include none, 0, empty lists, empty dictionary, and empty set. So if we look at what we have on the screen, option A would be the incorrect answer because a non-empty list would return true, but an empty list is falsy. Option B would be the correct answer because this expression evaluates to false because the list is empty. Option C and D would also be the incorrect answers because in option C, what we have on the screen would not return none because it evaluates to a boolean value. And in option D, there is no error in evaluating what we have on the screen. So our answer here is option B. An empty list is considered falsy in Python, meaning that it evaluates to false when converted to a boolean. Question 4. What would be the output of the following code we have on the screen? Option A, class float. Option B, class int. Option C, class double. Option D, class string. Looking at what we have, the number 3.14 is recognized as a floating point number in Python. So the function type, the brackets, is used to determine the type of a given object in Python. 3.14 is a decimal number which Python recognizes as a floating point number. Therefore, the type 3.14 is a class float. So we'll be going with option A. Question 5. What is the expected output of the following code? We have on the screen. Print in bracket list in bracket hello. Out of the options we have, which of these is the expected output from the code? If we notice the code, there's a list function there. The list function converts an iterable into a list. So when hello is passed to list, each character in the string becomes a separate element in the list. So looking at the option we have, option C lists each character as a separate element in the list. And from the code that we have on the screen, the output will be option C. Question 6. What will be the output of the following code snippets? So let's take a good look at the code we have on the screen. In Python, the A:::2 is called slice notation. It is used to extract elements from a sequence like a string, a list, or a tuple based on a specific pattern. So when we use this list splicing, we can say it's the start-stop step. Start is non-specified, so it defaults to 0, meaning that it starts from the beginning. Stop is also not specified, so it goes to the end of the list, while step means it selects every second element from the list. So using the step-by-step slicing, the original list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the second element will be selected from this list. So the output will be option A. Like I mentioned earlier, it selects every second element from the list. So after 1, the second element will be 3. After 3, the second element will be 5. The second element after 5 will be 7, and the second element after 7 will be 9. So that makes our answer option A. Question 7. How do you create a list in Python? A. My_list equals 1, 2, 3. B. My_list is equals curly brackets 1, 2, 3. Option C, my_list equals brackets 1, 2, 3. And option D, my_list equals angle brackets 1, 2, 3. In Python, lists are created using the square brackets, and they can contain multiple elements separated by commas. Lists are mutable, meaning that their elements can be changed. So to create a list in Python, we'll be using the square brackets, and out of the options we have, option A is the one that has the square brackets. So for instance, I attached a screenshot of what my_list equals square brackets 1, 2, 3 would output, and as we see it on the right side, it will separate the elements by commas, and the output will appear as 1, 2, and 3. Question 8. How do you start a comment in Python? A. // this is a comment. B. Hashtag this is a comment. C. /* this is a comment. */ D. --, this is a comment. Looking at the options we have, in option A, this syntax is used for single line comments in languages like C, C++, Java, and JavaScript, but this is not used to create a comment in Python. In option B, the proper syntax for a single line comment in Python is the hashtag. In option C, the syntax we have there is used for multi-line comments in C, C++, Java, and JavaScript, but it is not used for Python. And in option D, This syntax is used for comments in SQL, but not in Python. So our answer is option B. The hashtag is the proper syntax for single line comments in Python. Question 9. What is the correct syntax for a function in Python? A. Def my function colon. B. Function my function parenthesis. C. Def my function parenthesis colon. D. My function hyphen angle brackets squarely brackets. In option A, this would be incorrect because when defining a function in Python, you must use parentheses after the function name, even if no parameters are passed. So looking at option A, this would be wrong. Let's take a look at option B. This is also wrong because Python does not use the keyword function to define functions. In Python, the correct keyword is def. So option B is not our answer. In Python, functions are defined using the def keyword followed by the function name in parentheses. Def is the keyword that defines the function. My function is the name of the function. Parentheses is where any parameters would go, even if there are none. The colon marks the start of the function body, and the indented code is the body of the function. So, in option D, this is also incorrect because the syntax we have resembles a combination of function signature notation and an empty dictionary, which is invalid in Python. Looking at the options we have, our answer will be option C. So I attached a screenshot of what a correct function will look like in Python. Def is the keyword to define the function. My function is the name of the function. Parentheses is where any parameters would go. The colon marks the start of the function body, and the indented code is the body of the function. So our answer here is option C. Question 10. Which of the following is used to take user inputs in Python? A. Scan parenthesis. B. Input parenthesis. C. Get input parenthesis. D. Readline parenthesis. The scan parenthesis is not a built-in function in Python, and it might be confused with functions from other programming languages, but Python does not have a scan parenthesis for user inputs. The input parenthesis function is used to take inputs from the user in Python. The get input parenthesis is not a standard Python function. It may be a custom function in some specific code, but it is not a built-in Python function for taking user inputs. And the readline parenthesis is a method used to read a line from a file, but it is not used to take user inputs directly. So our answer here would be option B. Question 11. What is the correct way to output hello world in Python? A. Print hello world exclamation and bracket. B. Echo hello comma world. C. Print hello comma world. D. Console.log hello world. Looking at the options we have, the correct way to output hello world in Python would be option C. The print parenthesis function is used to output text into the console, and the text must be enclosed in quotation marks, either the double quotation mark or the single quotation mark. Question 12. What is the output of the following code we have on the screen? A. 55. B. 10. C. Quotation 10, close quotation. D. Type error. Option A would only occur if both X and Y were strings and Python tried to concatenate them. But since y is converted to an integer with the int y function, it adds the value, but it does not concatenate them. In option B, let's take a look once more at the code we have on the screen. So x is equals 5, and here x is an integer with the value of 5. Y equals 5 in quotation marks. In this, the y is a string with the value of 5. It is not an integer, it is a string because it is enclosed in the quotation marks. The int bracket y converts the string 5 in quotation marks into the integer. So the code x plus int y will perform the following calculation, where x is an integer 5 and int y converts the string into the integer 5, the result would be 10. So the output of the code will be 10. And that is option B. Question 13. Which of the following sentences is true from the code that we have? So in the code that we have, we'll see that string 1 is equals Peter in quotation, and string 2 equals string 1 with the colon in square brackets. Looking at the options we have, option A says string 1 and string 2 are different but equal strings. Option B says string 1 and string 2 are different names of the same strings. Option C says string 1 is longer than string 2, and option D says string 2 is longer than string 1. Taking a look at string 1, it creates a string with the value Peter, and string 2 will create a new string which is a slice of string 1. So the slice, which is a colon in square bracket, means take the entire string. So string 2 is a new string that is exactly the same as string 1. So our answer here is option B. String 1 and string 2 are just different names of the same string. Their contents are equal. Question 14. A data structure described as LIFO is actually A. Option A, stack. B, tree. C, list. D, heap. LIFO or LIFO stands for last in, first out, and this means that the last element added to the data structure is the first one to be removed. This behavior is characteristic of a stack. A stack follows the LIFO principle where elements are added and removed from the same end, called the top of the stack. So the most recently added element is always the first one to be removed. So our answer is likely option A, but let's take a look at the other options. A tree is a hierarchical data structure where each element has a parent and potentially multiple children. It does not follow the LIFO principle. A list is an ordered collection of elements. So while you can add and remove elements from both ends of a list, it does not necessarily follow the LIFO or FIFO behavior. It is more of a general purpose data structure. A heap is a specialized tree-based data structure that is used for implementing priority queues where elements are ordered based on a specific criterion like minimum or maximum value, but it does not follow the last in, first out principle. So from the options we have, the data structure that describes the last in, first out principle is option A, a stack. So the elements that are added last are usually the first ones to be removed. Question 15. Which function does in-place reversal of objects in a list? A, list.sort brackets square bracket function. B, list.pop brackets object equals list minus 1 in square brackets. C, list.remove brackets objects. D, list.reverse parenthesis. The function we have in option A sorts the list in place, but it doesn't reverse it. It arranges the elements in ascending order, but it does not reverse the list. The function we have in option B removes and returns the last object of the list, but it does not reverse the list. The function in option C removes the first occurrence of the specified object from the list, but it does not reverse the list. While the function we have in option D reverses the elements of the list in place, that is, it modifies the original list. It does not return a new list, but it changes the order of the elements directly. So our answer here is option D. This is a function that does in-place reversal of objects in a list. This brings us to the end of the practice questions for the Certified Entry-Level Python Programmer. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and also hit the subscribe button so that you'll be informed when our next informative video will be dropping. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.